Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. And before we go on, I want to make it clear, you saw the disclaimer on TV tonight. I am going to verbally disclaim it so that the views on this show are those of the guest, nothing but the guest. It's not my views, it's not KTN's views, and that is that. For the record, because tonight the man with the same name twice, the man who gave us the phrase "come baby come," has come back to Kenya to run for governor. He wants Kidero's job. He's been telling anybody and everybody who will listen to him, he wants the job. He wants to run a clean city. He says he has a clean record. He says he's the only man who can turn county number 47 around. This man, I tell you, he's a solicitor practicing in Canada. Before that, he was the former Prime Minister's senior personal advisor. He was a big man back then until they fell out. Now, he's on his own, and he thinks he can take the city. Last night, if you were watching Jeff Koinange Live, you would have heard Professor Miguna Miguna rip him to shreds. That's going to be our starting point, because the man on the bench, Miguna Miguna, whose Twitter handle is just that, Miguna Miguna, is on the bench. Mine is at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag we're using tonight, and get ready for this, it is this man Miguna. Start tweeting, ask your questions. Plenty of you have asked questions already, but keep it coming. Sit back, better yet, lean forward. This is one JKL you will not forget. Miguna Miguna.
Thank you. 2 corrections.
Go on. 1.
Barrister and solicitor. I can't be demoted.
You're a barrister.
You have to say barrister and solicitor, not just a solicitor.
You're both.
I am both. Secondly, I was the senior advisor to the former Prime Minister, not personal advisor.
Well, I stand corrected for that.
Yes.
So, where do we begin? Miguna Miguna.
Well, before we get to Miguna Miguna,
yes,
I'm a revolutionary.
Yeah, like Che Guevara.
I went to Cuba, and I decided that I'm going to give a souvenir to one Jeff Koinange. Because I know you like those fine things.
My brother. My brother.
So that is for collectors only.
Oh, this is good, bro. This is good.
That's your gift.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm going to treasure this.
Thank you.
Somebody say, oh my.
Before we get to Miguna Miguna,
no, let's get to
who is
Miguna.
Not an issue.
Let's get to Miguna.
No, before we get
there.
No,
come on. He slammed you. He tore you apart.
I don't know if he did. I don't know if anybody can tear me apart.
He did.
You can't.
He says you can't even run for Nyamira. I don't know why he didn't say Nyando, but he said you can't even run for Nyamira.
I won't get there first. First of all, because first things first, I would like to express my condolences to the Jacob Juma family for the untimely, brutal death, which is quite unfortunate for a country like ours. Because what I stand for is transformation, it's the rule of law, it's constitutionalism. And I strongly believe in freedom of speech, of expression, and all the other rights that are in the Constitution.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Macau coming here to call me names, because I think that he's entitled to his opinion.
Did you know Jacob?
Pardon me?
Did you know Jacob Juma?
No, I didn't. Not personally. So, second one is to express my condolences to the family of the bereaved of the Oruma tragedy. And the third one is the tragedy that resulted from the floods in Nairobi, which really are results of misgovernance, the amount of looting that has happened, and the state of the infrastructure and mismanagement in the city of Nairobi, which is why I'm running to be governor, to sort things out.
A lot of people have been asking me, Miguna, are you really serious about running for governor of Nairobi?
Why do people ask that when they don't ask the joker Sonko, for example?
Sonko
Because-
might take the city.
But he's not qualified to be anything.
What do you mean qualified? What qualifications does one
He's
need?
not qualified to be anything. The man can hardly read. The man does not know even his functions as a senator.
He's just getting his degree.
No. He bought his degree. But let me tell you this. A county like Nairobi, which is the capital city, cannot be run by drug cartels. Cannot be run by people who are functionally illiterate. Cannot be run by people. I mean, he was elected senator. He has not spoken once. He has not brought any bill. He has not brought Kidero to account. He has never read the Auditor General's report that have consistently said Kidero has looted over 200 billion. In the last 12 months alone, Kidero looted 42 billion. The Auditor General said. Now, the PricewaterhouseCoopers report also says before he came to Nairobi, he brought Mumias to its knees. Mumias is bankrupt, and Mumias farmers have never been paid.
Well,
Jacob Juma, who died,
Yes.
took him to court for taking about 680 million shillings from Ken farmers he put in his pocket.
The governor was on the bench right here where you're sitting last
Yeah,
week.
yes,
And he
I
said-
heard him.
Yeah, he said he
That he's a
left,
missionary.
correct. He said he left Mumias in a profit, in the black.
No, you see, I do my homework. Kidero went to Mumias in 2003. When Kidero went to Mumias, the company that was running Mumias was called Booker Tate Company, a British management company. Booker Tate was running Mumias and Sony Sugar. Booker Tate left when it had debts of less than 100 million. When Kidero left 10 years later, Mumias had 1.67 billion in debt. Forget about the fact that it was the most profitable, the largest sugar miller when he came in. By the time Chris Murungaru, by the way, people don't know where this man came from. This man was handpicked by Chris Murungaru. Now you know Chris Murungaru is the one who brought us the Anglo-Leasing.
Right.
So you can tell why the guy is as crooked as Chris Murungaru. Chris Murungaru too came to Mumias, and he left Mumias bankrupt as much as Chris Murungaru left us bankrupt at the national government.
Yeah.
That is why, look, Kidero is rotten to the core. And Kidero cannot lie that he's a blue chip CEO. Where did he learn being a blue chip CEO? He's a pharmacist, right?
Yeah.
Like, so do you learn to be a blue chip CEO in pharmacy school? No, you don't. What made him a blue chip CEO? What has he done to become blue chip?
He
Meaning,
worked for SKB.
no, but every company has run, has had problems. He can't tell us anything he has done successfully. And now we are talking about Nairobi City. What has he done? Garbage everywhere. The floods, which are very easy to contain if you construct storm sewers, if you do the storm drainage system, and if the roads have a way of releasing water, which then is captured and taken to reservoirs.
So all of that you're going to blame on Kidero.
No. I'm saying if you have a job, you've been appointed to be CEO of Nairobi County, and even if you find garbage is everywhere, you cannot say, I found garbage there. So then what were you appointed there to do? He was appointed CEO and the first county governor of Nairobi to do exactly what I'm saying. Look at Kanjo Kingdom.
Yeah.
The hawkers are being brutalized and killed every day. Like yesterday, they were arrested in Kasarani and put in, and they had to pay bribes to be released just today. And they are killing them in the city today as much as they were killing them before the KTN ran the series.
Okay, let me ask you this, Miguna.
Yes.
Oh, if you were governor, if
Yes.
you were elected governor by some miracle, let's say,
Not some miracle. Don't be as cynical as the deluded, right?
Yeah.
Because there is nothing. Kidero's mother and my mother. Kidero's mother was not better than my mother. Kidero's father was not better than my father. They just gave birth to us the same way. There was no first-class mother and third-class mother. They're just Kenyans, human beings. So they gave birth to us. We went to school. I went to the same schools as Kidero. I passed my exams. I went to school. I got my degrees. I have more degrees than Kidero, by the way.
Come on.
I have 3 and he has 2. So on education also. Then look at exposure. I've practiced law in good standing as a barrister and solicitor in Canada for 21 years. All right?
Yeah.
Now that is not a cakewalk for people who think that is a cakewalk. Let them try.
Right.
Even the so-called Makau Mutua is not licensed to practice law anywhere in the world.
But he's a professor.
No, he's a professor. That's academic. You see, Makau Mutua went to Dar es Salaam University.
Right.
Then from there, he went to Harvard.
Yes.
That is graduate studies. The professional study for professionals is the first degree. The LLB or the JD in the US. He didn't do his JD. He went there to do his LLM, which is an academic degree, right? So it does not have a professional designation. You see, like an engineer, you graduate with an engineering degree, but then you have to be licensed as an engineer to be called an engineer. Just having a degree does not make you an engineer. The same way, having a law degree does not make you an advocate or a barrister or solicitor.
Okay,
So Makau Mutua has no professional designation in Kenya, in Tanzania, in the US.
He can never practice.
He cannot practice law. All right, so we are dealing with a pedestrian, number 1. A legal professional pedestrian. Number 2, Makau Mutua said he has a PhD. He does not have. He has doctorate of juridical science. Harvard Law School does not give a PhD. A PhD is Doctor of Philosophy. An SJD, which is what he has, takes 3 years, coursework, and then you do some research. That's what he has. So he lied that he has a PhD. Now, somebody can say that is an equivalent. That's quibbling. The fact is, he sat here and lied. Number 3, Makau lied that he has taught as a professor at Harvard. No, he has not. Makau graduated with SJD in 1987. That's when he graduated. Then he went to New York to intern for a law firm. Then he went back to Harvard as the associate director in the Human Rights Project at Harvard, which is an administrative position as an assistant associate. Then when he left there, he got a job to teach at where he was supposed to be the distinguished professor.
Right.
So he never taught in Harvard. That's third lie. So when you have a short, bald man with low self-esteem and a conflicted ideological position who behaves like the senile Mugabe, come here with these political contortions to besmirch my character when he's not at my level. He said that I have no political credentials.
Correct. He says you live in a fact-free world.
So let me tell you, all these things I've told you are facts. Let him come here and tell us where he got his PhD. In fact, let him bring his PhD. All right? So, Makau says that I have no political credentials and no political skills. So ask yourself, a man without political skills advised one of the most senior politicians in this country for 6 years as the chief advisor and the chief strategist, and actually made the man win a presidential election in 2007.
Which one?
And because of the conflict...
No, hang on.
No.
What do you mean you made him win?
ODM won the 2007 presidential election that Kibaki refused to concede.
You did.
So we are not going to go there. But I'm telling you, as a result, there was a conflict that made him prime minister. I was the chief advisor when he became prime minister. When Makau Mutua and his contorted people said that my criticism of Isaac Hassan, all right, the same Isaac Hassan.
Yes.
I said Isaac Hassan has no integrity, cannot run the IBC.
You wanted him out.
I wanted him out.
Yes.
And I wanted a lot of his commissioners out.
And you were overruled.
And I was overruled and actually suspended. Makau Mutua was the chief sycophant, saying he wrote 3 incendiary articles calling for my head. He became the chief advisor. Now Raila is being tear gassed on the street as a result of Makau Mutua, because he said Miguna should be fired, Hassan is good. Now it is tear gas. That is the political credentials of Makau Mutua. Miguna kept Raila at a nice office, even if it was Mukati Nusu.
Yes.
Nice office with security and everything. And he had the majority members of parliament, and he was living the fantasy world, right? Right now with Makau Mutua as his advisor, where is he? Makau Mutua told Raila that he was going to win the 2013 elections. That even chicken in the village knew that. Miguna is delusional, has a high sense of grandeur. But they said all manner of things. I told them, wait, he's not going to be president. I said that. Who is vindicated? Hassan, they said, rigged them. And I told them he was going to rig you. I told him he was not going to be president. He did not become president. Makau Mutua said Uhuru could not win. Uhuru won. Makau Mutua said William Ruto was going to be jailed at The Hague. William Ruto was not jailed at The Hague. Makau Mutua said so many things. His so-called crystal ball, and I realize he's come out of the crystal ball, never panned out. So this man here is not just a hypocrite, a liar, which I have demonstrated he is, but he's some kind of political senile, but does not realize that he is. It is very difficult to describe a man with a debauched sense of importance when he's actually nothing. He thinks importance is holding a big position that you say, I work for the World Bank. That is rubbish. Anybody can work at the World Bank. You understand?
Yeah.
Just like in this country, anybody can be a CEO of anything as long as you're appointed.
Sure.
That doesn't mean you're competent. That doesn't mean that you are ethical. That doesn't mean you have integrity.
By the way,
and Kamau does not, Mutua does not have any of this.
By the way, he insists that he is not in ODM or in court, that he's what he calls a social critic.
You know why he's saying that? Number one, because Kamau, Mutua, I don't know why I call him Kamau. It's Makau Mutua. Is not truthful. You've read his opinions. Now he's trying to run away like Ngunjiri. You know Ngunjiri also peeled off from Raila.
Yes.
You see, I wrote a book.
Yep.
I never said I did not work for Raila. I worked for Raila publicly, and everybody knew what my position was. And I don't at any time regret my positions, because I can defend them. When we disagreed, I said what the disagreement was all about. And I wrote a book about it. And anybody who has read the book says the book is well argued. And nobody has written a rebuttal. Nobody prevented them from writing books.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Makau Mutua now wants to be Chief Justice. He wants to succeed his friend Willy Mutua.
Correct.
Willy Mutunga. Whom he recommended for Chief Justice.
Right.
So now he's lobbying Jubilee, the same Jubilee he refused to recognize. He said he will never recognize President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Correct.
But now he went to lunch with Ruto's right-hand man called Donald Kipkorir.
Yes.
Trying to lobby to be Chief Justice. So now he tells you, I don't belong to ODM. How many times has he invited Raila to the Buffalo Law School, where he is? I even went with Raila there. So who is he trying to lie to? Who? We are not that stupid. Makau Mutua is a liar, is a hypocrite, is a bald, short man with no sense of security, and believes that because I'm tall, taller than him, darker than him, more handsome than him, that I take something from him, and maybe more intellectually acute.
Yeah.
Then he says, I cannot be governor.
Right.
He's not even a voter in Nairobi. He has no political credentials, as I have demonstrated. And he said Uhuru could not be president. In fact, the more Makau says somebody cannot be something, the more they become.
The more they are. He also said that you wear that hat to hide your bald head.
So why did he get to that? Number one, Makau Mutua was called a pink man by Mutahi Ngunyi. Now I tend to believe that. Because a man who talks about another man's private parts or hair that he has not seen, has an agenda that I cannot describe. Why would he have an agenda with my hair when my wife has not complained about my hair? And when you look at my head, does it look like Makau Mutua's hairless head? You know, the thing is, I expected a so-called distinguished professor to come on the bench and talk about good governance, talk about extrajudicial killings, because we just had one, talk about corruption, because he says that he's advising the World Bank on corruption.
Right.
Talk about the deaths that just happened recently in Oruma. He did not even express condolences to anyone.
No.
He did not talk about the floods. The man lives in a reverie, right? It's worse than a dream. So he wants me to join him in that nightmare. And I say no.
Wow, Miguna, you're goodness gracious me. This deserves a little. Wow, come baby, come. And he has come indeed. We're going to take a break, Miguna. We come back. You mentioned the ICC. Is it over?
I want to first of all come to the city, then I go to the ICC.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
because I want to explain to people why is it that I'm running?
Yeah.
Why do I think that I'm the most qualified out of all this lot to transform this city? And the answer is very simple.
Okay. We're going to get the answer after the break. Keep tweeting at Miguna Miguna, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag this man Miguna. Somebody say, oh my. Goodness gracious me. Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes a break. We'll be back. Maybe not. In a moment.
Why would you?